Remember a man right here. Put that down right there. Next one. A guy right here, I was listening to the story of this man, and he's married now, and he said, you know, my wife, when she was my fiance, we had sex. She had sex all the time, and it was great. She loved sex. We had a great physical life. Then we got married. Now notice, these are two Christian people. We got married, and it slowly stopped to the point now where she is completely shut off. I feel as if she sucked me in under false pretenses. Look what this guy said. She was saying, look how great it's going to be when we get married. And then she turned into a cold fish. She lied to me. This is what he said. What's going on here? What happened? You got to realize this, is that sin is exciting. Sin is exciting. Marriage is not an affair. Marriage is not you, wait, my parents are coming home right now. What, it's exciting right here. Well, let's go. I see you by midnight. See, you got to realize that in literature, it's not just Romeo and Juliet. It's the tragedy of Romeo and Juliet. You talk, oh, I want romantic love. Becomes a tragedy when it's used not in the way that God intended for it to be. So what's going on in this situation right here? You know, she's saved. So now all the stuff and all the things that they did when they were having sex before marriage, right here now, it becomes distasteful to her. And now she has a guilty conscience. A lot of people right now who are married have a guilty conscience about all the stuff they did with that person before they got married. You may have married that same person, but your mind needs to be cleansed and you need to get forgiveness of all that stuff that you did with your spouse. Oh, don't shout me down now. This stuff right here is messing people up because their thought lives are in a mess right now. Thought lives are jacked up. Think about sex 24/7 and all the perversions that happen right there. So then when you get in those intimate moments, you know, you can't get down without saying some curse words. Come on, somebody. Let me get here. You can't get down. You don't feel right without being dirty. You don't feel right because it's not an affair. This is holy matrimony, not unholy matrimony. So you know, so you say, what's wrong, man? You're a guy saying, man, I need to take some Viagra. What's happening to me? I don't feel right. Yeah, I tell you right now, you got some condemnation going on. And then he's mad at her. He's blaming her for all these things right here, putting the whole thing on her. And many times during that time, it wasn't, you know, when two people say, well, you know, we were just together and it just happened. And then you take that into the marriage. It just keeps on happening. She's totally fulfilled. You feel great. Men feel great. I feel fine. I don't know what's wrong with her. I'm having a great time. She's saying, well, I don't feel close to you. What do you mean you don't feel close to me? We just had sex, didn't we? There's no intimacy there. See, many people think the very thing that's going to keep that man, the very thing that's going to keep that woman is when you have sex with them. And you think that that's real intimacy. No! That's not real intimacy. That's two people, as it said in 1 Thessalonians, defrauding one another. It's time for us to hear the word and what this is doing to us. It's hurting us. But there's help. Someone say there's help. But I got to give the bad news first. You know what I mean? I'm going to come around to it. We're going to lighten up a little bit. We got to set up the problem. You know, if you're writing, doing research, if you're writing a paper, you got to set up the problem and then start to work on the solutions. Amen? So it can hurt your physical intimacy because of all those things. And the forbidden has an allure to it. When something is forbidden, we were talking about in Bible study, the forbidden fruit. Well, what's that about? It'll give you some knowledge. You know, you don't know, you're missing out on something. Oh, you told me not to do it, but you know, the forbidden it's very alluring. So people would rather do the forbidden. It's alluring. And of course, the enemy makes it that way. It's all a setup. It's a plan. See? And then when you go and then you You have all these thoughts in your minds, and then you get in condemnation. And God doesn't want his people in condemnation. He wants you to be free. Amen? So the alluring sin. So you got used to rushing. You may have married that person, but you got used to rushing because you were doing the wrong thing. You knew you were doing the wrong thing. So you got used to rushing. So now you get married. You're still used to rushing, and her needs are not being met because you're used to rushing. Men tend to want to rush anyway. They don't need any extra help. So they tend to rush. They want to rush more. So when you get married, it's no longer forbidden. Then you have a tough time. You have a tough time connecting. And sometimes you don't even have to go through all those things, but hey, you have a tough time connecting, but love will work it out. Amen? And don't give yourself that lie that you need to find out if you're sexually compatible with somebody. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Love will find a way. When you love somebody, you'll be patient with them. Amen?